Hi. Today I want to share something with you, and I felt it was a bit scary, but nevertheless, we are in uncertain times. Now, UK has left the European Union through Brexit and acted now in 2020, and we have started on a course hoping for a bright future here. We are on our own. We are on the threshold on something. The world is also at a turning point towards a new chapter of its global history. And at this point, I want to look at the plague affecting the whole world and us here in the UK. You look at the story of the Hebrews in Exodus and in Numbers in the Bible, and you see that they were delivered from the angel of death. None of them died on that fatal night where the firstborns of the Egyptians were killed by the plague. Sudden death. Then they traveled in the wilderness and they started complaining about food and about water. They never complained about their clothes that never spoiled, never torn. They never complained about their shoes that never got torn during these 40 years, but they complained about water and mainly food, dreaming of foods that were far beyond the manna that was provided by God. And notice that manna was enough to sustain people with all the vitamins and everything, but people were not happy about it. Now, eventually, the story came to a crisis point when they were just about to cross into the promised land. They sent spies to check the country. These people came back with a very positive report about milk and honey, food, glorious food, but 10 of them out of the 12 mentioned that they couldn't even dream of crossing into that land, that they would be crushed, that they were like grasshoppers, that the people were giants, well equipped, that were no match for them. And God had enough. And if you read the story, you see that he told them, all right, you said that this was going to be your end. Well, let it be. All the little children that were born during the 40 years of wilderness, those that are innocent, that never complained, they will cross into the promised land. But all of you that have been keeping complaining and now say that you cannot even trust me to help you cross, you are going to die. All the people aged above 20 would die in the wilderness. The only ones that would escape are Caleb and Joshua, the two spies that reported that they trusted God, that they would succeed in crossing. That is the story from Numbers 14. Because you complained against me, said God, every one of you who is old, 20 years old or above, will die. Only the children will enter the promised land. Now, examine the situation right now. The plague hardly affects kids here. They don't die. they hardly notice that there is a plague. They may carry it, but they don't uh, get sick. But from 20 plus, people start getting affected, and the older people are, apparently the worse. So much so that governments have decided to abandon the over 80, over 70 to their fate. If somebody gets it, it's just helped to die gradually, just through palliative care. Now this should be an interrogation. And also, worldwide, we notice that the places most affected are the Europeans and China and America. Africa has hardly been hit. And even though you may say, oh well, we don't know the future, obviously. But my emphasis today is about age. And I want to tell you, there is a purpose in that plague. Obviously, it's a warning sign. It's a call to repentance. God, in Jesus Christ, has shown time and again His mercy. And we are not at the time of crossing the Jordan into the promised land of old. Now there is mercy. Through the blood of the Lamb, there is mercy. We can still make it, but we should recognize the complaining, the unbelief, all that has been done. If we want, as a country in the UK, to cross into the promised land of the after Brexit, all that the future holds, then if you want to see it, come back to the Lord. If you want to be part of the story globally of the world, and that 2020 will not be your end, then come back. Look at the example of Numbers 14. Look at the example set in the Bible and recognize that this was written for our warning and for our advice. God bless you as you do.